welcome to your reading. Today we are doing a past, present, future read on a situation. Let's get into it. All right, one card for Virgo past, please. Got the Wheel of Fortune in the past. So, Wheel of Fortune. Change. All right. One card for Virgo present, please. One card. Two of Swords. So, reviewing something, like not action, but mental, like in review, or looking at a decision, like analyzing, right? So maybe this change has you looking at something, like something shifted, now you have to make a decision on something. All right, and then future for Scorpio, please. One card. Future for Scorpio, please. I'm sorry, not Scorpio. Future for Virgo, please. One card. I just did Scorpio, so that on tip of my tongue. If you have Scorpio placements, maybe check it out since that came out, right? Either way, Page of Wands. Yep. So it looks like change, thought around how you're going to proceed with this change, right? Swords are mental, and then Page of Wands, the first action regarding maybe this, what has been thought through, right? So we'll see. We'll find out. Let's get some clarifiers for Wheel of Fortune. So Wheel of Fortune is change, right? You could be anywhere in the process of the wheel. It's just saying that things are shifting. I would think of Wheel of Fortune as a positive because it's Wheel of Fortune, right? So something good, change in a good manner in some form, coming to you. That said, change doesn't always look good as it's happening. It can be difficult, but still change, right? We can never tell what it was for in the present until we look back at it. We're like, oh, I see why that was like that, right? So Wheel of Fortune. Oh, upside down. My goodness. Okay. What is going on with you here, Virgo? So you're not defending anything. You're not like fighting to your stance, right? This card speaks of like wish fulfillment or like single person card. Like you have everything you need. You're looking for like whatever, that last pentacle, right? It's also upside down. Then we have the Four of Coins. Four of Coins talks about keeping stuff close to you. Like I think of it as like keeping it quiet. It can also be like hoarding, like, oh, I'm going to keep all this to myself. Either of those, right? Depends on the energy the card's giving off. This is upside down though, so I don't think you're keeping anything to yourself. And you're not hiding it, right? What that means in this manner though, I'm not sure. And we have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles upside down. Some kind of focus on action, not focus on building. So you have the wheel, which is change. And you're not fighting your stance on this. You're not keeping this quiet, whatever this is, right? As I said, you're not defending anything. You're not in a stance, you're not trying to protect or defend anything. You're not keeping things quiet to yourself anymore. It kind of makes you think of like going with the flow, right? You can't fight the flow. You can, but you're not fighting the flow of change. You're not like keeping the flow of change quiet. You're kind of just riding the wave. You're also not in this space, right? Maybe this wheel is trying to bring you closer to like more abundance or more stability, right? Because you're not in that energy right now. So I feel like it's just like you're letting the wheel turn. You're kind of riding the waves of that wheel. That said, you're not in a foundation building energy. You're in an action energy. And I don't know what you're in an action energy for. Maybe you're in an action energy around this change. Maybe this change was caused by you, right? And that's why the foundation is not the focus. It's action, because like you're shifting things through this change. If it is you who's created this change, right? And you're moving through it rather than trying to build. You're letting the change process through first before you start trying to build anything. Instead, you're in movement. You're driven. So maybe there was some like action that you're very passionate about, driven by, that caused this too, right? That caused the change. And now you're riding the waves of that and you're moving through that. And once the change settles, then you'll be working on the foundation building to reset a foundation under this new whatever you're in, this new change that occurred, right? This new energy that you're in. Let's get some clarifiers, Virgo, for this Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. All right, we have be here now. So some form of grounding throughout this change, which kind of makes sense. You're in this forward movement action, but also make sure to ground in this change that's occurring. It says, practice mindfulness to be present in the moment and gain insight. And then we have Harbor of Peace. Find serene refuge in the peaceful embrace of a gentle harbor, allowing tranquility to still your waters. Yeah, because you weren't fighting for anything in this. You're in an action state, but you weren't like defending or protecting. That Seven of Wands card that was here. Peaceful state of flow, like acceptance, right? And so like maybe grounding at the water. I know when I sit by the water, it kind of just lets me, like, it's so, what's the word? It just lets me tune out, right? And I zone into the water. I'm just watching the waves. I'm hearing the water. If there's birds around, it's just like peaceful, and it helps your mind kind of settle as well as your body, and just kind of like relaxes you to sit by the water. So maybe there's a harbor near you like to go to, or maybe you don't go to the harbor. Maybe there's just being near water might be good for you, just to like ground. So it says be here now too, so maybe some form of like, not meditation, but like mindfulness by the water. Excuse me. Sip my tea because my throat is acting up. All right. Inner vision. Cut. I'll show it to you first. Cut through the fog of confusion with the power of discernment. And then embrace courage. Open your mind, learn from experiences, and let answers unfold in your journey. So just like be open. I think this all kind of feeds together. Mindfulness near the water, inner vision, right? Mindfulness will help you cut through the fog to hear your inner vision or see your inner vision. And then also you're kind of riding the wave. So you're riding the experiences and letting like the journey take you where it's going to take you. So, all right, Virgo, let's look at this Two of Swords. So Two of Swords, about making a decision. You're kind of at an impasse. You're like in the mental back and forth, right? Swords are mental energy, trying to figure out what to do. So it's kind of like you're like, should I do this or that? Like, what about this and that? Like you're kind of working through the background process to get to the point of the decision, which would be Two of Wands. This is like the background mental aspect of working through it prior to actually taking the action on a decision, right? So this is you just thinking through. So see what you're thinking through on. You have this Wheel of Fortune, this change. Now you have this Two of Swords. What's going on with this Two of Swords, please? I don't know. We have the World and Page of Cups. Interesting. So the World talks about like the end of a cycle. So you had the wheel turning here, and you're kind of riding the waves of change, accepting the flow, not trying to fight or push or, hold on what you have. You're kind of acknowledging there's change happening, whether you yourself triggered the change or the change just came and found you, right? Now you're in your head about a decision. There's two swords and there's two cards here. So this card talks about like cycle ending, right? It's like things wrapping up, change in the whole thing, which the wheel was turning, but this is like cycle completion. And then there's this Page of Cups here. So Page of Cups could be like an offer, right? It's very most commonly known as like a small offer, small communication regarding emotion. It can also be like a message coming in. It could be inner child, right? So something's closing, obviously, with this world, right? The cycle's ending. And there's this page here. So I'm curious if it's that you're torn between closing off the cycle. because this would be one of the swords, right? Or providing an offer, accepting an offer. I'm thinking whatever this offer is not completion. It's maybe not like letting the thing close fully. It's like you're torn between ending the cycle and not ending the cycle of whatever this may be. Maybe this change that happened, there's like two paths after it, right? There's like the path of a whole new beginning, right? I'm closing this off, I am moving forward, and I'm starting something brand new. And maybe this is a past thing, this Page of Cups, that was somehow tied to this wheel somehow. But choosing this is not closing off the cycle. It's like reopening it. It's continuing it, right? 2 cards, 2 swords. I'm not sure what that means, Virgo. I'm not sure what you're gonna choose, but right now you're like reviewing these. You're mentally working through this, try to figure out which path you want to go on. And neither is right or wrong, right? I always say I'm not here to give advice. I'm just here to read the cards. You know your story. You know the nuances of it. So ultimately it's for you to decide, right? And you won't know if the decision was the right one or the wrong one on either of these until you've chosen one and seen the outcome, right? And nothing's necessarily wrong. It's just we make a decision and we learn, you know, how that played out, only to make decisions later down the road and we can apply that, right? So whatever is calling to you, go with that. But there's like it's like a split in pathway, right? You can start a whole new thing, or you can, I keep hearing accept the offer, so I'm going to go with that, like accept the offer of this, whatever this is. All right, Virgo. The clarifiers for these 2 of Swords, please, for Virgo. Clarifiers for 2 of Swords, for Virgo. Clarifiers for 2 of Swords, please, for Virgo. All right. We have higher wisdom, real promise, one last move. So higher wisdom. Explore options, learn what you can, and expand your horizon. Yeah, I think you're trying to do that with this too. So we're trying to figure out what's right for you. We have a real promise. Laying is bad. There we go. Release the chains of the past and dance to the rhythm of possibility. And lastly, we have one last move. You have come far on your journey. Keep going, and you will soon see what you've accomplished. All right, Virgo, so now you're at this impasse. You had change, you're at an impasse about something, and then you have the Page of Wands. So I think in the future, so like here you're riding the wave, here you're trying to figure out what to do between the options, right? The 2 options. And here I feel like you're taking action in some form, whether that's on this 2 of Swords or something completely different, I don't know. But Page of Wands is the start of that. Page of Wands is like the first step, right? It's like, I've thought it through, I made my decision, and now I'm stepping out the door, right? That first movement to trigger the journey, right? All right, Virgo, let's see what Page of Wands has to say for you. Page of Wands, please. Page of Wands, Page of Wands, Page of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands, she's back again. We have the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Swords upside down. Yes, like I said, we have the Queen of Wands here again. We have 7 of Swords and a 3 of Swords. There's action of something. So you have Page of Wands clarified by Queen of Wands. So you have, this is action, right? Like you took the first step, but you know there's a journey ahead of you. That said, this right here, 7 of Swords is like a trickster type of energy. Like they think they're getting away with something. Like they're only showing these 2 swords, but they actually have 5 swords in their hand. So there's a lot more thought being put into the action than they're showing, right? So it's like the actions are being perceived as like, oh, okay, they didn't think this through, but honestly they did, and they're trying to get away with something on it. This talks about disappointment, heartbreak, right? Jealousy, some kind of emotional release. I don't think you're feeling that towards this. Because the Page of Wands and the Queen of Wands, you're taking action on something. You were in this thought process in the present, in the future, you're taking action. There's also a lot of moons here on this Page of Wands card. Like there's a lot, might be planets too, but there's a lot of unknown. This I think is the moon right here. Maybe it's this one, but who knows? There's unknown on this wand journey. And I think there's movement from this because you've like emotionally detached from whatever this Seven of Swords energy is. It makes me think there was some kind of change here, right? And you were riding the waves that put you at this Two of Swords, or you were at an impasse. And I think I'm wondering if the impasse was, as we had the World card and the Page of Cups, if the impasse was like start anew, something fresh, right? Or just start a whole new cycle and close with this old one. Or if there was like some kind of offer from this energy coming in, being like, that would keep you in the cycle, right? It wouldn't be wrapping up yet. As I said, for you to decide, right? But I feel like here, there's movement, there's action being taken. And I feel like it's action taken towards this person. I don't see like, maybe it's addressing this. Because I don't see like movement away. But I do see like, I think you're still figuring this one out here in the future. I think here in the present, you're at this impasse state because you're looking at both sides and you're trying to figure out like, what do I do, right? And I think in the Page of Wands, you're now taking action towards whatever this is in a less, I think maybe you've emotionally disconnected in some form. It's not going to affect you as deeply as it was before the change, before the swords, right? You have a little more clarity and you're a little more stable around this and you're addressing it. What that leads to, I don't know, right? And what this energy is being like trickery about, I also don't know, right? I'm just saying that it looks like you're addressing this because the action is towards this. So it looks like you're out of the mental space and this maybe be like a discussion, a sit down, right? You're actually trying to figure out and discuss what this is, what this could be, but there's like less emotion involved in it. You're not in like this emotional state about it. You've kind of pulled it back a little bit and you're just addressing it. I think it's to figure out how to move forward because there's no, the World card would just be like change, right? Like the cycle wraps up and we're done. So I think you're trying to take action to understand this, to decide, am I taking the World card or am I taking the Page card, right? And so the action is on, I think this person is the one who offered the Page card and you're trying to figure out what to do with that. So you're not moving away, you're not investing in it. Some form of change happens. You're in your head about the options made available to you because of that change. And now you're taking action just to figure out one side of that option, right? And that's where we're at with this, Scorpio. I mean, I'm so sorry, I keep saying Scorpio. Virgo. You're figuring it out still. What you will decide, what you will do. Maybe we'll see that in next month reading if it comes up again. But for now, you're taking action to figure out the options available to you and how you want to proceed. Here you're just in your head about them. Here you're actually taking action on them. All right, Virgo. Any clarifiers for the Page of Wands, please? So many. Page of Wands, please. Page of Wands. Lots of fire in these, which is interesting because you are a, there is, you see that? This is the sun set or rise. Fire, fire, fire. Lots of fire for you here. Under this Page of Wands, which is fire element, wands are fire. for a sign that's earth, right? You guys are earth, you're grounded. So something going on here. Water and fire. Interesting. All right, we have emerging dawn. Trust that every ending is another beginning coming in disguise. So maybe there is discussion around, or even thought around ending this or reinvesting back into it, right? And like I said, whatever option you choose, that's the one for you, right? Nobody's here to give advice. Everybody's got to live their own life. But know that endings are not just like endings, that's it, right? If you choose to walk away, that's not the end of everything, right? Closing a door is not a door opening. Releasing causes new things to be able to come in, right? Because with there's something there, it's blocking other things from coming in. So if you do choose to walk away from this, know that that's not like the only option out there. More things will come your way. More doors will open. Flames of passion. Let the flames of your passion light your way, but be mindful of the fires they may ignite in your journey. That's interesting. Tide of transition. Embrace the tides of change with openness, allowing the ebb and flow of life to guide your transformation into love and work. All right. More fire. Rising flames. Let your passion guide you to fulfilling purpose meant for you. And lastly, hurtful events. As you navigate this challenging time, learn to let go of the past so it won't weigh you down. Let's get you a universe card. Growth often feels like dismantling a familiar, comfortable constellation to make way for grander, unknown pattern. It is the courage to let old identities fall away like spent stars, trusting that the space created will be filled with a brighter, truer configuration. The temporary emptiness is not loss. It is the necessary void where your new, expanded self is being drawn. I'll show it to you, sorry. This is the card. The lighting is bad. You can read it like that. Has some like constellations on the bottom, it looks like. All right, Virgo, let's grab you some clarifiers. I got one letter for the last one. Let's see if we get some letters for you and some things. Mix them up. And I'll just grab this. Is a lot. Oh, it's a lot. Okay. And then there it is. Oh, I think it's two. Oh, everybody's been getting extra songs. I usually do one song, but you guys, 4 songs jumped out for Scorpio, 4 songs jumped out for you. So that's what it is. That's what it is. All right. Letter 6. I'm sorry. Letter 6. Number 6. The saying, it's funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different. Then we have, the earth has music for those who listen. Scorpio also got this. This makes me think of like grounding in nature, maybe, just to like root down. We got the letter Y. We got, your energy is precious. Be picky who you share it with. We got, the worst distance between two people is misunderstanding. So maybe there could be like that trickster energy. Maybe it's not so much trickster energy, but it could just be like misunderstanding between the two of you, that when you address it with this Page of Wands, it could lead to choosing to stay with that, right? But maybe it needs to be addressed to understand where they are, where you are. You can understand each other, right? It's not intentionally trickster, maybe. It's just misunderstanding happening, causing that energy to arise. We got, you are enough. You align through music. Yeah, you got 4 songs over here. I also align through music. Helps me ground, helps me tune in, tune out. Got the letter E, so Y-E. Got number 11, so 611 Y-E. We have December. Maybe this will be a discussion will happen in December. This addressing, right, might happen in December. Maybe something happened in December last year. We have 18. All right, Virgo, let's get your songs. We have Makes Me Feel Like I Could Be a Tower, a Big Strong Tower. Yeah. Suddenly I See by KT Tunstall. Suddenly I See. Like that. The upbeat song. That's your first song. Then we have It's Been a Minute and My Memory of You is Fading. How Have You Been? Rehab and Quinn Lewis. Like that. You Took My Heart and You Held It in Your Mouth. Sweet Nothing, Florence the Machine and Calvin Harris. And last, When I Woke Up in the Morning, I Was Choking on Some Words Every Time I Hear That Song by Brandi Carlile. All right, so you have Sweet Nothing, Florence the Machine and Calvin Harris. Suddenly I See, KT Tunstall. How Have You Been? Rehab and Quinn Lewis. And Every Time I Hear That Song, Brandi Carlile. All right, Virgo, that's what I have for you. Hope this helped.